The last time we saw you four, you had just murdered someone. Not to put too fine a point on it. You had been under the care, quotation marks, of one Dr. Theo Bell, a psychologist who was attempting to deprogram you after the time you had spent in a cult called the Founding that was headed by one Father Eli Bannon. Thank you so much, Bull. Appreciate that. Bull is giving you some love. You had come to realize, in fact, that Dr. Bell was probably not doing really well by you. He was using methods that were very dubious and was slipping you drugs and causing you to hallucinate and doing all sorts of terrible things like that. So under Marjorie's advisement, you all decided to get together and kill him, which you did. But you did not only kill him, you actually ritually murdered him in an attempt to sort of regain control and power over your own minds, your own psyche, and kind of what has been going on. At the end of that, each one of you had strange little encounters with different things. We're going to see exactly where you all ended up. But I think actually what might be good to do here just briefly is I'll go around the table and I just want you to tell us a little bit about your character, not necessarily where they're at or kind of what's going on, but just kind of a refresher for the audience of who your character is and kind of what's their main thing, or kind of, what they're better known for, if it's murdering their husband. Not to go into super detail, we're going to see these details here in a moment, but just as kind of a refresher for everyone, because it's been a while since we've seen these characters. So I will just go around the table as it is on my screen. We'll start with Ava, if you would like to tell us a little bit about Estelle.
Well, Estelle, what can be said about her? She's perfect. She's beautiful. She's popular. She is the typical housewife, dutiful to her husband, who is fantastic, and a wonderful mother to 2 children. Only one of them still talking to her because the other is too busy to call. And honestly, she's just doing so fantastic right now. She did not murder her husband because she did not actually murder her husband. He's actually fine. He's so fine right now. He's on a business trip to India. It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's all fine. Thank you very much, Kurt, for the bits. And Kato.
Well, Marjorie Fontaine may have helped these lovely ladies with some of their issues surrounding leaving the cult that we just left, and helped guide them to the right path. And they were very kind in their aid in regards to the disposal of Dr. Bell. And Marjorie has been at her home gardening and hosting a little sewing circle of sorts. Lots of crystal work. It's sort of like a 1971 Tupperware party, but not plastic.
Y'all lying through your teeth. I love it. Thank you very much. Darling Creepshow, tell us a little bit about Iommi.
Yeah, Iommi is the baby of the group. Tiny little baby. And she's very quiet and mild in manner, a bit submissive naturally, but has seen a lot and maybe killed some people, maybe has witnessed some very sexy things happening in bathrooms, desired to partake, and maybe has a deep, deep love for Father Bannon, who everybody else seems to distrust and hate. So she's just keeping that under her hat for right now.
Probably best.
Probably best.
She also has a friend who's a fallen angel.
She does. She does.
It probably keeps him under a hat also.
Just a little bit.
She's such a good girl. She reads her Bible every night. Thank you so much. And finally,
If
Blue,
she could read, she would.
if she could. Blue, tell us a little bit about Delphine. Yeah, tell us a little bit about Delphine. I think we'll figure the rest out.
Okay. Delphine is still very much an artist. She's competent and curious, and some might call it obsessing, but she calls it research into those past sessions, into the new insights that she left that ritual with, exploring new relationships, and spending a lot of time getting into cleaning. I think cleaning has become something of a hobby for Delphine.
Keeping everything as man. Excellent. Thank you so much, all of you. There's a motel room in Hartwell. We are in Hartwell, Nevada. Hartwell is a very small town, somewhat north, a little bit east of Las Vegas. And it's a quiet town. Usually there seems to be an inordinate amount of cult activity, but these things just happen in small little towns like this, especially in 1971. People are freaky and looking for freaky things to do. And in Hartwell, one of the things that there is in Hartwell, a place that is kind of well known, is a motel called the Stardust Motel. The Stardust Motel is the kind of place where they don't ask too many questions. It's a lot of people renting it by the hour, but also sometimes workers who are coming in from out of town or things like that. It's, it's not a roach motel by any definition of the word. It is still very clean and very fine. It's just your regular, everyday 1971 motor lodge. Just a little bit off the highway, a little bit outside of town. It's a well-known spot. Currently, in one of the rooms, if you were to enter into this room, you would walk in and see the nice thick carpeting, the 1970s-ish sort of, Art Deco style kind of wallpaper on the walls and lampshades and so on and so forth. And perhaps the thing that would arrest your attention would be a chain. Because there is a chain that runs from somewhere under the bed all the way across this carpet and all the way under the door to the bathroom. If you were to move in further and open the bathroom door, you would find a very standard 1971 motel bathroom with the blue tile and the stucco walls, and something perhaps that would stand out a little bit is the woman that is chained there. The chain that runs under the door goes all the way to a collar around her neck. And this woman at this point, after a few months now of being stuck in here, is looking a little worse for wear. The dress is becoming slowly dirty rags. At first, she might have made an effort perhaps to keep clean in the bathtub that's there and whatnot, but after a few weeks, that kind of went off by the wayside. The only points of interest, the only things that break up the monotony, are occasionally when she hears people coming into the other room, usually to engage in sex on the other side of the room and some partying. And also, a little while ago, and it's difficult to really kind of figure out exactly when that was, but 3 people burst into the room. They seemed kind of confused and lost. She didn't know these people, but a couple of them looked like people that she knew, and they all had names that she recognized, her own, Estelle and Delphine and Iommi. And these three people, two of them, a man and a woman, left, and the third woman, the one who was called Estelle, who looked a little bit like Alice Bridger, opened a door in the wall. And my dear Estelle, when she opened that door, you saw a long corridor. And while it looked like the kind of hall you would find in a hotel like this, it was absolutely impossible for that hall to be there. It was in the wrong direction. It was way too long. It felt kind of ominous, and the girl left through that, and the door closed after they talked to you for a little bit. And then you smelled burning, but your fears that the hotel was on fire didn't seem to come true. But here you are, Estelle. It's been God knows how long at this point. You've lost track of days, of weeks, of months even, that you've been here. It's been certainly a few nights since you've seen whoever she is, the one who looks like you, who comes around and brings men and women and entertains them in the other room, and will come in sometimes and hurt you. Can you tell us a little bit, Estelle, about your current state of mind and what you are doing when we find you chained in this bathroom, in this motel?
What is there really to say? There is nothing. Nothing really going on in her head. Nothing going on with her hands. She looks everywhere and yet nowhere. She thinks of nothing, because if she thinks of something, that's when she starts to go mad. She can't think of her daughter and how the last conversation, her daughter blamed her for Matthew getting into the accident, for Matthew wanting a divorce, for who knows. And God, Matthew. She's been thinking in the beginning how she felt about all that. Wondering how much of everything was true, or if this was just a ploy of something and someone who really wanted Estelle to be sad, who wanted her to break. But that doesn't matter now. Either he's dead or he's long gone. So she's left with nothing, and so she thinks of nothing.
You stand up, perhaps, if only to alleviate the boredom a little bit, and look in the mirror, and when you do, you see even more gray hair than you had the last time you looked. The crow's feet are more pronounced, the circles under your eyes, the skin everywhere getting a little bit looser, a little bit more wrinkly. You have bruises where you didn't have them before. You look not only very sad, but old and beaten and damaged. And this has been going on for a while. I would like you to, one, I'm going to just decide, because I can do that. Your stability is going to be already, you're going to have lost 2 stability already. I'm going to say that as long as you are here, as long as you are in this room, your stability cannot go as soon as I find feet. Your stability cannot go above distressed whilst you are in this room. But I would like to know if it's a little worse right now. So if you could give me a stability roll, which is a plus willpower.
Okay.
Keeping it together, which is a plus willpower.
Math.
You have a 1 penalty due to your stability already being
Yeah.
used.
So 9.
The strain becomes almost too much for your mind to handle as you stare at what's becoming of you. The fact that time is passing, that your family is out there, that this other person, this other you is out there living your life for you. Everything is a little too much. These 3 strange people that came in here with the names of the people that you knew of with your name, who just sort of barged in and saw you there and left without helping you. Everything is just a little too much, and you feel your hold on your sanity slip a little further. I'm going to say you lose another 2 stability as you shake and just tremble and just kind of try to keep your shit together, but you're just on the verge of doing something, of you don't know what, but you feel the need to do something. You feel this urge to break something, to do something, and just before you do it, you hear the door in the hotel room close. You hear someone moving around in the room. You hear keys being dropped on the desk. You hear TV being turned on, the local news. One of the things that has been happening is how you've been fed. Every once in a while, someone, you assume the other Estelle, comes by, and she doesn't open the door to talk to you, but under the door she slides a paper plate. And on that paper plate is what you could only describe as warm honey. It is this thick, warm, golden liquid that took you forever to even get close to, but the second you tasted it, the second you put it to your lips when you were just dying of hunger, one, it was the most incredible thing you'd ever tasted. It was like manna from heaven. It was sweet, and it hit the umami, and it was warm, and it was all the flavors that you love, and you realized that just a little bit of it did a lot for you. It sustained you. It was very nourishing, very fulfilling, and what you started realizing after a while was that you started craving it. An addiction was building. And after a moment, you hear the distinctive sound of this plate being pushed under the door again, and slides in and stops about a foot away from the door. And you hear a voice, her voice, your voice, say, "Dinner time, Estelle. Please keep quiet. I have guests coming." And nothing happens for a little bit. What do you do?
I think this is one of the few times that, whether it's trying to test herself or it's a means of curbing the boredom, she likes to make a game out of mealtime, so to speak. When the addiction started to form and she was realizing that, she made a game of seeing how long she can go without eating it. So she'll turn away from the mirror and she'll walk over to the tub and just kind of curl up in it, and kind of like counting sheep to see how long until that craving really makes her ill enough to try to get it.
Let's see how long you might stand. I'm going to say, give me an act under pressure. So it's a roll plus coolness. You are currently at critical levels of stress, which
Yep.
means that you are at -2 when you're keeping it together roll. So it's coolness plus coolness -2.
16.
16, you feel your resolve strengthen you. You know this time you're going to resist it. You push down on this need, this addiction of yours that calls, that yearns for this thing. You push down on it. You've got this on lockdown. And the second you congratulate yourself for that, you hear the sound of the chain rattling as it's being pulled, and it is being pulled with extreme force. And you are slammed against the side of the bathtub, and it's trying to pull you over. Give me an endure injury roll. That would be a roll plus fortitude.
That's an 8.
That's an 8. The chain pulls you so hard, and you slam against the side of the bathtub, and before you know it, you are dragged out of it, and you are kind of encumbered in the chain, and you fall head first, knocking your head right on the tiled floor. You take a serious wound, and everything goes black. Iommi. Oh, Iommi's not there. We will go with... Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't even... I wasn't looking at the screen, so I didn't see that you weren't there. Iommi. What have you been doing with yourself? You've been busy trying to follow Bannon's instructions. You've been somewhat successful. It was a little bit difficult at first. You had a few trial and error moments, but with what you've been kind of copying from Marjorie, watching her and kind of refining your style, and with what you've been able to learn from Samael here and there, the last two went much better. It is Sunday morning. It's been almost 3 weeks now since you've encountered anyone that you think you should approach. What would you be doing of a Sunday morning like?
Well, Sunday morning, so I'd be doing my chores around the farm, likely when I get up. Tending to the garden, I like to have my hands in the soil. Probably make some coffee, a light breakfast. At some point, I would probably sneak out to the barn and listen for a little while.
Inside the black barn that's behind the ranch, you walk in and immediately are hit by that sort of sweet smell of the decomposing bodies. You have 3 of them placed as Bannon showed you how to do. You have the body of Dr. Bell at the top, the most decomposed of the lot, and then one on either side. And then you've marked out the place for the other 2 that you need 5 in total. All of them are prepped the way Bannon showed you, with their bodies opened up to form wings, the bloody wings of an angel. You are doing what Bannon used to do. You are giving angels back their wings, and you see that the pool of black viscous liquid that's been slowly bubbling up from the ground at the center where these bodies are aligned has grown a little bit. It's now maybe about 3 feet wide. It's still bubbling up at the center, this dark kind of almost molasses-like kind of liquid that doesn't smell like anything, but it kind of just bubbles up like oil, and it's spreading slowly, and that pool is just sort of moving kind of on its own. And whenever you enter the barn, whenever you approach this, you feel him, you feel his presence, you feel him as you would if you were in the house with him and he was just in the room next door, separated by just a door. You can almost hear him moving around, almost smell him, almost hear his voice. It's very, very close. What do you do?
I think as she enters the barn, she will take a moment to look at her work. There is a look of indifference on her face. And then she'll slowly approach that pool. Her hands and her knees are dirtied with the earth that she's been working in all morning, but she will get on all fours at the edge of that pool and just kind of tilt her head to it. Listen, there's silence otherwise in this barn, but she knows that she can feel him here. If only she could hear him.
You hear your name whispered by his voice, and when you look, you see emerging from the pool fingers, and then the rest of the hand covered in this dark liquid, and the hand itself looks big and rough like you remember his hand being, and it slowly emerges out of this pool and with trembling fingers reaches out for where you are.
She reaches a hand out to it as far as she can to try and clasp her hands.
You grab it. When it wraps its fingers around you, that viscous liquid starts to drip down along your arm, dripping down the bottom of your elbow. You can feel him trying to pull himself out, and if you try to help him, it feels like he's stuck in this mud or this liquid, whatever it is, like he's in quicksand or something, and you pull, but there's nothing to do about it. And at some point you feel him kind of let go a little bit, and he just holds onto your hand very loosely.
Only 2 more. I'm doing it just like you said. Soon, though, I'm gonna get you out. You're gonna come back. I miss you so much.
And as you say that, another hand emerges, and very quickly this other hand emerges, and his head emerges, and it's hairless, and it's just dripping with this black liquid everywhere, and he's got no eyelids, and he's got no eyebrows, and no hair, and no beard, and it's just his strange, weird face, this brutish face that he has with his eye missing, and the top part of his body sort of comes out and reaches out and grabs onto you, and you come to and you kind of fall back. You're covered in the black liquid on your face, on your shoulders and hands, but the pool is still in front of you.
She touches that liquid on her face, and there is a sadness in her eyes as she stares back at that pool. And slowly she's gonna stand again, make her way back to the farmhouse, run herself a bath, get cleaned up, continue about her daily duties, just as she always does.
As you go to step out, as you stand up and go to turn, you suddenly go rigid, and you see something you haven't seen in a while, a strange sort of vision that comes over you, and you see a car driving up a dusty desert road. It pulls up and you recognize the house where it pulls up. It's Marjorie's house. And you see a man and a woman get out of that car. A white man, older, younger black woman, both dressed in suits. You can't see their faces, you just see them as they stare at Marjorie's house. But you know, those are the next two. And the last two that you need.
When she sees this and she finally comes back to herself, she takes off running to the farmhouse, barefoot across the dirt, and she is going to make extra quick work of getting cleaned up. She's got somewhere to be.
Del. You open up your eyes. It's another morning with cotton in your mouth and your eyelids feeling like there's sandpaper in them and drool and who knows what else just kind of stuck to the side of your face and covered in sweat, kind of askew in the bed. It's not even a bed. You have a mattress that's laying on the floor in a corner of the room with a couple of old blankets or an old sleeping bag opened up, and everything is kind of stained and smelly, and you're just covered in sweat, and the blinds that you've put up with the paper curtain on top of it kind of keep some of the light out, but you can tell it's probably close to noon and it's hot as fuck. And you're just lying there. What's going through your mind? What are you thinking?
I feel like he's thinking about, I think he's bored. I think he's antsy. He's feeling like he needs to do another one of his performances, is what he's been calling it. And so I think it's sort of that itch just underneath his skin. He's like picking and biting at his nails. I feel like he even begins to pace because he's just, I think that's all his mind honestly can think about right now. It just keeps going back to that.
Your mind does wander and it goes back to that, and you remember the warmth of the blood as you stab Dean over and over in front of that carving, those statues of the dancers, and how he just looked up at you pleading, not understanding what was going on, but so high that there was nothing he could do about it, and you just stabbing him over and over, and the blood just sort of spilling everywhere and covering you, and the smell of it just filling your nose, and then hearing that door open behind you and turning to see Gloria, the real estate agent, screaming as she took in the scene, this bloody scene of you doing this. You running after her, running her down as she tried to escape, running down the stairs, pushing her, watching her fall, hearing the sickening crunch. She broke her neck. You remember not knowing what to do, just sitting there most of the night, just finding whatever you could put inside of you, any drugs you could find, just to try and kind of make all of this go away. And when you woke up in the morning, they were still there, both of them. And that's when she showed up. She showed up at the door. She opened it like she owned the place. She walked in. She saw what you had done. And she said, okay, we need to take care of this. And she helped you. And you got rid of the bodies, and you cleaned the house, and you cleaned the blood stains. And she closed the door where the statues are, and she put a lock on it, and she said, we don't go there anymore. And then she moved in, and she's been staying with you, and you can hear her now downstairs puttering around in the kitchen. You said her name was Delphine. You can hear pans and water running, and she's downstairs working. What do you do?
I think Del is thankful for Delphine's assistance, but even still a little resentful. Who does she think she is to come in here and tell me I can't go in the room anymore? That's my room. I think they've done this thing of Del breaking the lock, Delphine replacing it. Del breaking the lock, Delphine replacing it. There's a lot of Del creating pieces from his dance partners and just putting up shelves in that room and placing these remakes of the statue made out of like flesh and bone and things of that like. A couple of clay like mixed in there, and Delphine has tried to throw them away, get rid of them. We can't have evidence. This is evidence. But Del has, I think, gotten good at strong arming his way into getting his way. Strong arming with Delphine to get his way for sure. And so he decides to see if the lock is back. He steps out of his room and he goes straight to the room where the statues are. Where the statue is.
You approach the door. It's at the end of the hall. You walk down the hall. As always, there's this sort of strange white glow under the door that is kind of difficult to figure out where it's at. And as always, as you approach the door, you feel more and more a kind of oppressiveness. There's something strange in that room. You know the statue's been growing. It used to be about the height of a person. It's now reaching almost to the ceiling. It's expanding. It's taking up more room. It's just growing. You approach and you do see, in fact, that there is a padlock. What do you do?
I think Del keeps like a duffel bag of his tools, so like a handsaw, like bolt cutters, things of that nature, and he goes to get something to cut the lock off. I think Del has made up his mind of Del is just deeply curious about this statue and thinks that these dances, these rituals that he is doing with people is what is helping it grow. And so he wants to continue to do that. He wants to continue to feed it. I think he's convinced that he's like feeding it in some way. And in turn, it will give him answers. It will help open his eye to a world that he's probably only accessed like through drugs.
Get your bolt cutters. You come back towards the door. When you do, you see that the lock has been broken. The lock mechanism has been split apart. It's lying on the ground. The latch itself has kind of partially been pulled out of the wall, and there are wood splinters on the ground.
I think Del thinks to himself that the statue wants him to know as bad as he wants to know. This has to be its doing. He drops the bolt cutters at the door and pushes his way inside the room.
As you go to push your way inside, you hear the doorbell ring.
I think Del quickly will debate between answering the door or going in this room. He will. Delphine can get the door. He goes inside the room.
You open the door. At the other end of the room, against the far wall, again, it's feeling that not only the statues are growing now, but the room. you see them there. This beautiful, shiny, black stone. These two strange dancers, conjoined really. Parts of their bodies stuck inside each other. Too many limbs where they're not supposed to be. Look on their faces, one of them a look of utter terror, the other one a look of utter ecstasy. And again, as you open the door and stand in front of it, you feel this strange pull towards it. You start hearing whispering in your ears, words you can't make out, a language maybe you can't make out, and you hear music. And it's almost as you move and the light plays on this shining black stone that this statue is carved out of. It's almost as if it's moving surreptitiously, or if it's not stone but rather glass maybe, and there's something inside that is moving. It is sensuous and horrible and everything all at once, but you feel a very close kinship to it. What do you do?
I think Del focuses on the music that he hears. He sort of moves not with as much grace as Delphine does. It's sort of rigid and unrefined, but he slithers towards this statue, seeing it also sort of moving a little bit. I think he doesn't touch it, but just like a hair away from it, just like fingers looking as if it is like caressing the faces, like gently like touching the headpieces on it. He doesn't think he's earned the right just yet to touch it, but definitely revering it. Oh, you're muted, Bleak.
As you stand close, thank you, as you stand close to it, you feel the warmth that's kind of emanating from it, as if it's being heated from the inside. You could swear that this snake that is wrapped around these dancers is moving, and as your hand hovers so close to it that you can almost touch it, you almost get the sense that this snake is reaching out to ensnare you and wrap around you and pull you close to the statue. And as you feel that, as you are kind of pushed forward and your face moves close to one of the dancers and your lips are almost right up to its lips, the doorbell rings again. And all of a sudden you realize you're standing about a foot away from the statue.
Del looks confused. I think he's brows furrowed. He was so close. It seemed there was something in that moment. They wanted him to come closer, he thinks, and there's somebody at the fucking door. Delphine, don't you hear that? He sort of just calls out.
You kind of approach the door and let an ear out to see if Delphine answers. You think you hear the shower running?
Del grumbles. This is such fucking bullshit. I can't believe this shit. Looks at the statue for a second and then looks away. Just so deeply annoyed by this intruder, and goes to look out the window, just peek behind.
As you turn away from the statue, you see sitting in the room, staring at you, are Dean and Gloria. And when you stop and look back, they're not there, but you feel like shadows are moving in the room. You step away, look out the window, look down in front of the house. You see this strange man standing there. He's got long hair, a beard. He's got like a corduroy suit on with this shirt that's open to the collar, and he's got like a medallion, and he's got sunglasses kind of holding his hair up, and he looks like he's got a joint maybe or something in the corner of his lips, and he's got tattoos, and he's kind of like looking through the little window in the door. Pushes the doorbell again. You hear it ring again.
Does Dell recognize the individual?
Never seen him before, no.
Does it look like a fucking cop?
Hmm?
Is it giving cop?
It's giving probably too much into weed to be a cop.
Dell, I think, has like the lock and chain on the door, so does not unlock that, but will suddenly just jerk the door open and is in the sliver of it.
Sorry. Jeez. Gave me a fright there. And he's got a little notebook, and he kind of flips it. Delphine, right? Whew. Give me a little bit of a fright there, Delphine. You remember me, of course, Thomas Church. We talked a couple of months ago.
If you're looking for Delphine, just give me a second. But she's in the shower, I guess.
Oh, okay, sure. No problem.
Yeah, just stay fucking there, and he will slam the door closed and lock it, and shout out to Delphine, "You got the guest. They can't come in."
You still think you can hear the shower running. You're going to have to walk over there if you want to be.
Del will walk there.
The door to the bathroom is closed, but you can clearly hear the shower running and some music playing.
He bangs on the door loudly.
And you hear Delphine's voice. "What? I'm in the shower."
Yeah, someone named Church is here.
Church? Someone from the church?
Someone named Church.
Church? Why is that? Oh, it's that detective. What does he want?
Is there a fucking detective around here?
He's looking for a missing girl. Someone named Alice Bridger.
You need to make him go.
Can you just talk to him? Just find out what he wants. Tell him I'm in the shower, and tell him ask him what he wants, and tell him I'll call him back.
We have a dynamic that works. This is Del grunts in frustration, bangs on the door very loudly one last time, and just stomps away.
I better not find out you're breaking into the room upstairs again either. And you should try picking up your room a little bit. It smells like corn chips in there.
He sort of just shakes his head. This isn't his job. He doesn't do the door, doesn't do like the mail or the bills. So he takes the latch off this time, the chain and what have you.
Oh,
and,
hey. I'm sorry. Not Delphine. You look really alike. You siblings?
And I think Del does not know how to answer that.
It's complicated. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, family stuff. She said you were a detective?
Oh, yeah. And he pats around a little bit, and he pulls out a bunch of random cards and papers and stuff, and he flips to him. He's like, yeah, and he slides you a card, and it says Thomas Church, private detective, and there's a phone number. I'm from Los Angeles originally, but I've been working in the area for a while. I'm working on a missing persons case. A young woman named Alice Bridger. You wouldn't know her, would you? And he rummages through and he pulls out a Polaroid, and he shows you a Polaroid of a young woman with dark hair.
And closes the door behind him just to be safe.
Sorry, say that again.
Dell steps out on the porch fully and will close the front door behind
Well,
him.
I'm having deja vu. He shows you the picture of Alice. He said, her name's Alice Bridger. Her father's a minister in California. She's been missing for several months now, and I've been looking for her. I've got some leads around here, but nothing's panned out so far.
Dell fishes out like a very broken cigarette out of his jacket, tucks it in between his lips and lights it. Takes the
He gets his
picture.
Zippo out. Here, let me do it for you. You wanna?
Yeah,
you
love
wanna?
that.
Shows you his blunt. You
Absolutely. They'll tuck the cigarette behind his ear
far out, man.
and
Far
take the
out.
joint instead.
Yeah.
He's looking at this picture of Alice, and he does not know her, right?
Nope.
He wouldn't recognize.
Look, I don't want to put you out. I'm sure you got a bunch of stuff to do. I just wanted to. I talked to Delphine a couple of months back during the investigation. I just wanted to give her a message. I found out something that I thought she might want to know. And I just wanted to leave it with her. I mean, if she's busy, maybe I can leave it with her and you can get it to her.
Yeah. Let's see a message, and he'll hand the photo back.
He grabs his pen and his little thing, and he flips through a page and he writes on it. All right, here you go. All right. He rips out a page and he folds it over once, and he's like, "You can just give her this for me." And she's got my card, and you've got my card now. So if she wants, she can call me.
Yeah.
But make sure you get that to her. I think she's gonna want to know this.
He takes a long drag off of the joint before passing it back, and immediately reads.
Keep it. I got like a dozen on me. I'm good.
Okay.
You want another one for later? One for the road?
Yeah. He holds his hand out.
He pulls out like a cigarette case, like a beautiful inlaid silver cigarette case. He pops it open. There's like 8 handmade, really thick, badass joints in there, and he pulls one out and he closes. Yeah, no problem. What'd you say your name was?
Dell. He tucks it away.
Delphine, I get it. All right. Yeah. Okay, good. Look, nice to meet you. Sorry to have interrupted your breakfast, whatever. Yeah, just give that to Delphine and tell her she can call me day or night, whatever. All good. That's my pager number. Just page me and leave a number, and put 911 if it's an emergency. I'll call right back.
I'll be sure to tell her.
All right. Far out. Hey, there ever been like a strange crime or murder or something committed in this house?
I think you'd be a shit detective to not be able to tell if a crime has been committed in a place or not, no?
I don't know. I just get vibes from places sometimes, and I kind of get the feeling that there's like a strange vibe here. You guys okay in there?
Yeah, things are peachy. And he begins to like ease back in the house.
All right. Well, thanks. Appreciate it. And he turns around and walks, and you can see he's got an old Volkswagen Beetle parked out front. And
Dell locks the doors immediately and reads this note.
The note says, "I thought you would want to know there are 2 detectives from the county sheriff's office that are investigating Dr. Bell's murder."
That's so interesting. I don't think Dell knows anything about Dr. Bell. I think the most Dell knows about Dr. Bell is hearing his voice because of tapes constantly being played by Delphine. That's as much as he knows about that.
And what you heard on those tapes was very harrowing. It was recordings of sessions between Delphine and Dr. Bell and other women also. Someone named Estelle, someone named Iommi, someone named Marjorie. And you don't know much about modern psychology, but you would think that whatever was going on was pretty not kosher. A lot of screaming, a lot of strange notes, a lot of weird voices, a lot of manipulation, things like that. It was just really, really bad.
Dell reads the letter, like recalls that this is some fucking hack doctor that Delphine was giving money to, apparently, and these other fucking women, and balls the note up and just drops it on the floor in front of the front door.
No problem. What do you do next?
I believe he returns to the room. I think he's like, okay, I did my part. Leave me the fuck alone now. He keeps smoking this joint and he's
It's really good. Really good weed, and it's really well rolled. Guys.
I believe it. This guy, the cigarette case,
Yep.
that was like, that's impressive.
This guy's a
And
pro.
he's just
Meanwhile, across town, in a little home, little house out in the desert, festooned with plants and little trees and bushes all around it, crystals hanging from the ceiling, dangling in the wind and clinking against each other. And in the backyard, there are a number of women gathered, sitting in the in the sort of I don't know, cross-legged, in that sort of with their hands out on their knees, like as they are meditating. And walking amongst them is another woman. Marjorie, would you tell us a little bit what your friends here look like, and what are you doing as the camera pans over to where you are?
Well, there's a couple sort of concentric circles, a smaller group, a middle group, and a larger group. And they're all wearing bright yellow, just the brightest, most cheerful yellow kind of linen. We hand dye all of our fabrics and we hand sew everything. We sort of have adopted a little bit of a homesteader feeling. Each of them has a little pendant around their neck that is a little bead of sandalwood, and it smells very comforting. Something that they can, spin in their hands while they think about the fairy queen and the gifts she gives us. And Marjorie walks amongst them barefoot in a long white shawl, and she's got glittering bangles at her wrists, and just very quietly moves amongst them, making sure that they've synced up their breathing.
They are doing their very best. They are learning as you teach them. Some of them you see have, their position's a bit off, so you kind of reposition them and help them a little bit. Some of them their breathing's off, but under your careful guidance, most of them are doing all right. You can feel the presence of the fairy queen more and more as she becomes more and more aware of you and your group and what you're doing. And you know that some of them have already started seeing certain things. Go ahead and give me a seeing through the illusion, and that is going to be a roll plus soul.
Let's see here. That's 15.
You see, as you walk among them, you see the presence of the Fair Queen sort of manifest itself through these vines and plants and roots that start to grow out of the grass and start to envelop them. They don't react, they don't see this, but all these plants and vines start to wrap around them, and sort of mummify them almost where they're sitting, except for their eyes. Everything kind of gets wrapped up except for their eyes, and soon you just have this beautiful garden of all these women in these positions, and their eyes are bright and open and can see everything, and you kind of get the feeling that this is a promise. But the second you see that, you also see in the desert a hole. You see yourself with a shovel digging a hole. You've just started digging in. The wind keeps blowing sand right into it, but you're digging it and you're digging it, and it's hot and you're sweating and your lips are cracked from the heat, but you're digging this hole in the desert sand. And then you come back to the moment and you see all these women dressed in yellow finishing their little prayers, their little moment of looking inwardly for the peace and the truth that you've promised them, and they look up to you very eagerly and await your instructions.
Come closer, my beloved ones. Closer, so that the hum of the world fades and you can hear what has always been waiting underneath it. You have been taught to cling, to grip the solid, the measurable, the things you can hold in your hands and count with your fingers. But what has that given you? Look at your lives, crowded with objects, yet empty of knowing. You polish the cage and call it freedom. I tell you now, the cage is not made of iron. It's made of belief. There is a realm just beyond the trembling edge of your senses. A place where the veil thins and the air itself shimmers with intention. In that realm dwells the fairy queen, not as a ruler of the land, but as a keeper of truth too subtle for the rigid mind. She does not speak in words. She speaks in patterns, in synchronicities, in the quiet pull you feel when you are almost brave enough to let go. Some of you have already felt her presence in dreams that linger longer than they should, in moments where time seems to slow down, in the breaths you hold when unwilling to truly let go. She is not asking for your worship. She is asking for your surrender. Not the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of weight. The surrender of all that binds you to the illusion that you are only flesh, only bone, only this brief flicker between birth and death. You are not. You have never been. The fairy queen offers you a different knowing, a wisdom that cannot be owned, only received. Your possessions, your identities, your fears, these are anchors, and you cannot drift into the luminous currents of the unseen while you are dragging anchors across the ocean floor. Do you understand? You are not being asked to lose anything of value, only to release what was never truly yours. And the fairy queen, she is a doorway into a more meaningful world. So I ask you now, no, I invite you, lay down what weighs you down. Let the illusions fall away like old skin. Trust the pull you feel, even if it frightens you, especially if it frightens you. And beyond it is a wisdom that does not fade, a beauty that does not decay, and a truth that does not belong to the world you're leaving behind. Come forward, beloved ones. The queen is waiting.
By now, they've all gathered around you. They're almost crushing you as they're all sort of pulling closer, almost like they're being pulled humanly, and you are in the midst of them. And when you finish, they all give this gasp and they all fall to the ground and are kind of writhing and trying to catch their breaths. And you stand there, and it's kind of like you're that little central pillar, and all these petals have all fallen around you, writhing on the ground, and you stand there and you're beatificent. They slowly get up to their knees. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, they say as they kiss your robes. What should we do now?
Stand, my beloved ones. Feel your feet in the earth, like tendrils pulling you. It's time to till. Go on, there are gloves in the shed.
You watch as they disperse around you, and all of them go out to the shed, and one of them's handing out shovels and other tools and gloves, and they all start working, digging in your backyard, which is just this big fenced-in area right now with a lot of dirt, and you've had some good soil brought in by trucks to do some planting, and there's a couple of big mounds of them, and there's some bags of seeds, and they go out there and they just start digging into this dry earth of the desert. And you feel, as they do this, watching you from inside the house, Alexandra staring at you through the sliding door.
I gently stare back at her. I had gone to the kitchen to make myself a sun tea with just a little bit of sugar in it. Guilty. And I stand, sipping it, watching her.
She opens the door and walks out and comes to stand next to you. She watches the women work and she says, "They are fun, but ultimately a bit of a drag, aren't they? You're not going to be able to make anything really worthwhile out of all of them. What are you trying to do exactly? You should not be burdening yourself with such dead meat."
It's good to live with purpose. Some of these women need a purpose, something higher than themselves, or simple housework and housewifery and household nonsense. It's good for them. And the Fairy Queen is here to provide.
I think they would be more useful if we bled them to feed the ground. But, as you say, Mother, you know best.
Well, I certainly appreciate your enthusiasm. The mother, she understands all. It seems like you have come to the right place. Perhaps you had a little bit of a troubled youth. What brought you here? What is your name?
She brought me here. My name is Alexandra Arante. I've seen you in my dreams that Malkuth gives me. I have seen through the madness that she has granted me. There is something grand about to happen here. Something beautiful that is going to serve Malkuth and open the eyes of so many. Tear the illusion down for so many. And she has sent me to assist you.
Is that so? What blessings do you have from the Fairy Queen? Tell me, have you been touched?
And she gives you a smile that the best way to describe it is the Joker smile. This insane, completely nutso smile that tells you this person is way fucking gone and way beyond and has seen shit that people are not meant to see and has enjoyed it and asked for more. And she smiles that smile at you and she says, "It looks like today's your day for visits. You and I should discuss when we have the chance, but there is another one at your door. A young woman with long black hair. She seems agitated, but she is here to see you, perhaps. Perhaps you might wish to see her first and, well, we can make some time soon."
Certainly we can. And at this point, Marjorie makes eye contact with Rhonda, who's a rather imposing physical specimen who has been her right-hand woman since the group expanded. Just a subtle eye shift and just a little gentle scratch of the eyebrow to say, nothing's wrong right now, but if anything goes awry, you know what to do. And with that, I say, Alexandra, why don't you join the others? Here, take out some sun tea for the rest of them, would you? I'm going to go see who's at the door.
She stares at you like you're completely mad, and she doesn't really move to get the sun tea or anything, but you walk back inside the house, and through the windows you can see outside Iommi sitting on the front steps of your house, but before you can reach her, I think we'll go back to the motel. You swim back to consciousness, Estelle. There's this ripping pain in the back of your head. You feel a cold cloth being pressed to your face. There. Alright, you took a pretty nasty bump. You hear your own voice speaking to you. That's going to take some time to heal. What were you doing? What were you trying to do? You have to eat
Exactly what you said to do. Not cause noise. I guess even I fucked that up too. Just like I fucked everything up, so... Oh well, maybe I deserve that.
The important thing, Estelle, is to learn from our mistakes, and she takes the plate and she puts it in your lap. Sits on the side of the tub and starts cleaning the wound on the back of your head. Eat up.
I can eat after you leave.
She grabs you by the hair, her fingers curling just above where the wound is, and she pulls your scalp back, and she says, "I said eat up. You're no use to me, dead or weak, and you've already weakened yourself a little too much with your stupid little stunt here. Eat up. I have some news for you." What do you do?
She will. I think there are still weird semblances of neatness, even if she has not had a lot of care for it in the past how long. There is one of the discarded plates that is kind of tucked in the corner. She'll reach for it and she'll fold it in a manner to be able to scoop it. So she'll just a very weirdly messed up, put together like spoon and just eat quietly.
And it tastes fantastic, and it really itches that itch that you had, and you feel really satiated as you gobble this down. And she continues cleaning the wound on your head, and she says, "There you go. That wasn't so hard now, was it? I have some good news. Your husband's, our husband's estate cleared. There was no other claimants, and, well, he left quite a sizable amount of money behind. He was well insured, had a lot of money saved up. I found a few strange things in his lockbox, but we can talk about those some other time. But the good news is that we're now independently wealthy. Isn't that great?
What about the kids? Or did you end up with everything?
Well, the kids are grown up. They can take care of themselves.
And so are you. They're
Hmm?
still his kids. You are also an adult and can take care of yourself. They're still his kids.
I'm more focused on myself. I think, Estelle, that you understand, of course, that we've spent so long focusing on everybody else, on him, on them, on doing things for the others, that we haven't really taken enough time for ourselves. And I think it's time that we focus on ourselves here. We've done our duty. We've done our job. I think now it's time we focus on ourselves a little bit. Don't you agree?
You sound like him. He said those words too.
Well, he wasn't wrong. Let me tell you. I have had such a great time. The sex I've had, mind-blowing. Some of the new products I've tried, incredible. There's so much out there, Estelle. There's so much life out there. And it is so rewarding to be wanted and to be desired again. Not because we're making dinner, and not because we know where the keys are, and not because we know how to clean strawberry juice off of a favorite shirt, but because we're beautiful, and because we're sensual, and because people want to be near us. It's been... I can't even begin to tell you how much I missed that. I didn't even know how much I missed that. But you know that, right? You understand me, right?
Well, I'm happy you're having fun.
Somehow I don't believe you. But it's okay. I'm certain that at some point I'm going to be back in here, and you're going to be back out there. And you're going to see exactly what I mean. And when you go back out there, just remember this conversation. Remember when you were talking about him and them and caring about anything other than you, and then tell me if you still feel that way after you've gotten to go out there and taste what's really out there for us.
It's very funny. So many people saying that they don't believe my words. And yet at the end of the day, you don't know how truthful I am. Is that how Cassandra feels from the tales of Greek lore? Interesting. But truly, please have fun. I'm just counting tiles in here right now. I can't wait for your next update.
Well, before there's another update, you're gonna hear me get thoroughly banged. I've got two lovely, lovely young boys coming. Well, not boys, men. Let's not be.
Yes, I was about to say we're depraved, but not that depraved. Don't do that to us.
No, two lovely young men coming. You're our daughters. Been a wonderful source for meeting interesting young people. And you know what they say? Hang out with young people, you feel young, you stay young.
Does she still hate us? Or has she come around to help you with your proclivities?
I think she hates us more than that. She said, what was it she said the other day? Ever since Dad died, I don't even recognize you. It's like I had a mother and a father, and then my father died. And all I have now is a slut.
Yes, well, she said that when he was in a coma. So she should have listened when I said she should have left, but oh well. Fuck me, I guess. Well, I guess those two men are gonna do that, so, well, for you. Again, I'll be counting tiles.
I'm sorry for the extra gray hairs.
Gray is pretty. I don't quite care.
She gets up and walks to the door, and just as she opens it and turns, and she goes, there's one thing I keep wondering, Belle. Why have you never tried to kill me? Every time I come in here, why do you just accept this? I think that's very telling, don't you?
You're right. One of the things, honestly, the only thing I asked after all this happened is leave my daughter alone. But you going after the people that she's around, technically you broke that. So I feel a bit more justified to want to kill you. But killing you won't really do anything for me. If anything, I'd rather kill myself right now. The amount of times I just want to just go to that mirror and just over and over and over again. But then alas, then you'll find your way here and patch me up and make me drink or eat whatever the fuck that is. And that's just the dance we do. I hate myself, not really you. And no amount of wanting to kill you will erase that fact. So I don't care. Again, please have fun.
What if I told you that there's a way for both of us to be out there enjoying our lives separately, without any restraint, without the fear of aging or losing our looks or becoming undesirable? Both of us just living our best lives out there, together or apart. We don't have to even be in the same city. Why don't you think on that for a little bit? No.
Please enjoy yourself. Tell them I said hi or don't. I don't care.
Iommi, you have arrived at Marjorie's house, and you hear her in the backyard talking to her little flock, so you don't want to disturb her. So you grab a seat on the front steps and just give her the time that she needs, and not too long after, the door opens behind you, and there's Marjorie.
Hello, little lamb.
Hi, Marjorie.
What brings you to my neck of the woods?
Well, sorry if it's not really a good time.
No, you're welcome here anytime, of course.
She stands up and straightens her dress and kind of dusts it off a little. I think you're going to be expecting some company soon. So I thought that I would come over and keep you company too.
Well, I always appreciate your company. And I hand you a glass of sun tea with so much sugar in it.
She takes a big gulp.
You said I'm going to have company.
Yeah, I think you're going to be expecting someone soon.
Do you know who this someone might be?
I ain't sure, but they was wearing suits.
Suits?
Do you know anyone who wears suits?
Well, business people and lawyers, sometimes doctors, sometimes police officers.
Right. Well, how's your meeting going?
Oh, it's great. The ladies really are special. We're doing a bit of gardening. It's been very nice. You should see the place. Do you want to come inside?
I'd love to. I love gardening. Can I help?
Oh, I would love if you would help. Come along.
As you get up to go inside, and the neighbor's cat is really crazy, you see a dust cloud coming up the road towards the house. You see one of those blue square cars that undercover cops. And this car pulls up in front of your house and stops and stays there for a moment. You can see two people inside. And after a moment, the doors open, and you see stepping out of them two people, as you were so kindly informed, wearing suits, color suits. The man, older, light blonde hair, glasses, is wearing a tie. The woman, younger and black, is not. They get out of the car, and as they adjust their shirts, you can see they have badges at their belts. And they take a look around a little bit. The woman points something out from behind the house to the man, and he nods. And then they both approach you. The woman says, good evening, ladies. Detective Overmeyer, this is Detective Sandusky from the County Sheriff's Office. Either of you named Marjorie? And she would say your character's last name.
Fontaine.
Either of you, she looks at Marjorie Fontaine.
I glance over at Iommi and I say, "Hi, officers. What can I help you with?"
Iommi's just eyes on their really shiny shoes. I imagine they're wearing really shiny shoes. She's just staring at their shoes.
Very shiny shoes. Actually, they're like they got like thick soles, and they're definitely like they're not like fancy shoes. They're like shit kicker shoes, if you will, like work shoes. And she says, "That's great. We'd like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind. Young lady, what's your name?"
Iommi?
Iommi.
Would you mind just stay on the porch for a second? Fellas, do you have a warrant?
Is this that Iommi Earhart? Oh, that's great. We need to talk to you also, actually. That's perfect that the two of you are here.
She takes a huge swig of her sun tea.
Cato did not mean to say your full name, and that was a role-playing mistake. Just want to throw that out there. Call it a hold. I don't know.
This is great. Oh, we just want to ask you a couple of questions regarding Dr. Theo Bell. I believe both of you, in fact, were his patients. Were you not?
As I said before, do you have a warrant?
Oh, we're not trying to come inside your house. We just want to talk to you. Right here is perfectly fine.
Yeah, he was our therapist.
Ah, perfect. Well, we have a couple questions for you, if you don't mind. And as they kind of pull out their paperwork and start getting ready, Delphine, you come out of the shower and go back into the living room. You hear Dell stomping upstairs, and you heard the door close a couple times. Smells like weed in the house. Get back to the kitchen and pour yourself a cup of coffee, and the house goes quiet. You don't hear Dell anymore. You don't know what's going on. What are you doing?
Del must have tired himself out, finally. I think Delphine has like one of those small TVs maybe that you can like take when you're driving. I have no idea when they were created, y'all, so just imagine it was during this time. But I think it's been quiet. They've been drinking coffee. They have a morning newspaper in front of them that they have not read. And she's nursing this warm mug and is looking at the TV. It's turned off and she can't help but want to play with the tape again. Maybe she missed something. Maybe there was something she didn't notice. But so she's just staring at this TV and nursing this mug and I think just turning it in her hands, just thinking about.
You are staring in the TV.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. I didn't get. Is the TV on or off?
It's off right now. I think she's wanting to turn it on, but she's trying to resist.
You staring at the TV, and as you do, you realize that there's another face that's looking at you kind of oblique from your reflection in the TV, and you see that it's your sister's face. Just staring at you with a very displeased look in her eyes. Thanks so much for the sub, Panda.
Delphine sighs at her sister's reflection, and just sort of mutters into this mug, "Aren't you tired of tormenting me? Shouldn't you have fucking passed on already? Isn't that what you ghosts do?"
The image stares at you for a little bit longer, and then your thoughts are disturbed as the doorbell rings. The image disappears in the television. The doorbell ring echoes throughout the house.
She immediately hops to her feet, dusts herself off of any imaginary crumbs, and sets the mug down. She's curious if this is the same person from earlier who visited earlier. So she goes to the window, and much like Dell, she peels back a bit of the paper and just peeks outside to see who it is.
You are quite taken aback. See your father standing out there.
She's definitely taken aback. She looks around her at the state of the home.
Pretty bad. You've done as much as you could. You've kind of tried to stem the tide, but I mean, it's still not a good.
Yeah. She's immediately panicking. She has trashed her sister's home. It has not been sold yet the way she has been instructed to do. And there's a fucking junkie, frankly, living here. She's cleaning up behind them, and she wonders if for a second she should just pretend to not be home. Maybe he'll go away. But she knows that that's not likely.
Especially when he rings the bell a second time and then you see him start looking through his pocket for keys.
Delphine. Oh, fuck. Does she? I'm trying to think. Does she just go through the front door, or does she maybe know her car will be outside? Damn it. She'll
I don't know.
open
How about
that.
you start by giving me a keeping it together roll?
That's so valid, honestly.
Roll plus willpower.
Okay, and I add a big old nothing to that. So let's see. Uh, 15.
15, pretty good. You managed to keep a hold on your emotions. You don't freak out too much. You're thinking clearly. Can't tell you what to think, but you know he's got keys. You know he's going to be coming in.
Yeah, he's gonna be coming in. That's gonna happen. He's
He's going to come in and meet your room.
and I don't know how my roommate will react to that. She opens the door. Dad, hi! And she goes to envelop him in a hug, closing the door behind her.
He totally takes you in a hug. He's like, "Oh my God, I didn't think you'd be here. Oh, it's so good to see
How
you.
are you?
Oh, I'm all right. Kind of tired, a little bit jet lag. That's quite a flight from France, but how are you doing? Are you okay? You okay? You look a little bit frazzled. Are you all right?
I'm great. I'm fine. I was having a little breakfast. I was actually just getting ready to go for a jog. I mean, I don't know if you maybe want to
If
go
I want to
for...
go jogging, I don't think I want to go jogging right now. But how are you showing the house? What's happening?
Yeah, well, I decided to do a little bit of renovating first for the place for the future buyers. Gloria had been really helpful in giving me advice on what type of wallpaper to choose and painting, but then she sort of just fell off with contacting me, so I hired an independent contractor.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened to Gloria because she stopped returning calls. We can't reach her.
I know, it's so
been kind of a
weird.
nightmare. That's why I came out here. We couldn't find you anywhere. We couldn't reach Gloria. We didn't know what was going on with the house. I thought it might be
Oh.
best if I came down and took a look around and made sure everything was all right. We're getting kind of worried out there, honey. It's been hard since your sister's funeral, and you haven't exactly been keeping in touch too much. So, are you okay? What happened to that? You're in therapy, right? What happened with that?
And Delphine takes his hand in both of hers and kind of guides him back towards away from the house, just sort of like let's walk a little bit. And she looks, her smile is strained. She says, well, it's funny you say that. I'm not sure where. I think Dr. Bell decided to move on to other clients. I don't think he was able to really help me the way I needed help. So I'm looking for a new therapist. I decided it'd be a good break from work. I can focus on the house. I can focus on my art. And just take care of myself.
A new therapist, new real estate agent, new interior decorator. You're certainly making a lot of changes there, honey. Hey, you mind if we go inside? There's a couple things I did want to pick up, and maybe we can kind of sit down and catch up a little bit and then kind of work out a plan as to how we're going to take care of it. I'm only here for 48 hours. I got to catch the flight back Wednesday morning in the middle of the night. I got a conference in Amsterdam next weekend, but yeah, how about we just go inside? There's a few things I want to make sure that are getting taken care of, and I want to make sure you're okay. And I still have Dr. Brown's number. If you want, I could give him a call. I mean, he was good for your sister. He might be able to help you.
Well, I actually just finished down laying a thick coat of this paint down, and the fumes are something crazy. I was on my way out myself, like I said, just to get some fresh air. How about we go sit at a cafe? Let's get some breakfast together. It's been so long.
All right. Sure. Yeah. Let's do that. We can catch up. That'd be great. Yeah. Your town. You tell me where you want to go. I don't know this place. All I know is Caesar's, and I saw that Luxor on the way in. That's about it.
Yeah, and Delphine will hook arms with him and lead him to his car, but like look back at the house towards Dell's bedroom.
When you look back at the house towards Dell's bedroom, you see someone standing at the window, but it's not Dell. You see your sister standing there, staring at you.
I think there is this deep satisfaction in Delphine in knowing that you're stuck there and I can still be with Dad and I can still go out and I can still have a life, and it's not yours, and it'll never be yours anymore. And I think that definitely carries her forward, a bit of a pep in her step at that.
And you head off to find a place to sit with your dad and have a little bit of a getting back in touch conversation. Estelle, the fucking went on for a few hours, and it was kind of like an Olympic. It was something. Eventually, the noises stopped, and you heard the door close as the man left. You heard Estelle kind of pack up her stuff, get herself ready. She sat for a while, smoked a cigarette, had a drink. Then you hear her knock softly at the door, and she says, "I'm gonna go now, but I'll be back eventually, soon enough. This was a really wonderful time. I hope you get a little bit of enjoyment out of listening to us. Is there anything I can bring you next time? Is there maybe some magazines you would like, or anything to pass the time?"
Well, I got to the number 85 counting the tiles while that happened, so having something to read would be different. But what do I matter? I'm just here to sustain you, so do what you think is best.
Oh, I will. Hungry? Do you need any more food before I go?
Do you think I'm hungry?
I think you'll be fine. I'll feed you when I come back. Have a good evening. And she gives a gentle tug on the chain, and you just kind of jerk forward a little bit. She leaves. You hear the door close. She left the TV on, and you can just barely hear it, and it's kind of maddening more than anything, because you can kind of hear it, but you can't really. It's just kind of annoying. Anything you want to do, or...
uh, I would like to. You talk about the TV being on and it's kind of maddening a little bit. I would like to bash my head against the bathroom walls until I pass out.
You bash your head against the wall. It doesn't take long because you're already concussed from her earlier. You hit yourself and right away you see stars and you pass out. You come to a little later, a splitting headache, and now you have a wound in the front of the head in addition to the back, and you're bleeding. But you wake up because you hear the distinct sound of a key rattling in the door. But it's like someone's drunk or something. Like it takes a while for the key to fit in, and there's a lot of rattling around, and then there's a click, and then the door opens. And you're kind of woozy and kind of out of it, and you sit up and you try to kind of gather your wits about you, and you hear someone moving in the other room, and then you hear what sounds like someone crying or maybe like giving a sob or a gasp, and then you hear the person say, "What have you been doing?" And you recognize your daughter's voice. And you hear her go through the room as if she's searching in the room, opening drawers and picking stuff up and sobbing all the while.
I think Estelle's just like rubbing the front of her head. It's like, I must have hit my head way too hard. My daughter shouldn't be here. It's already bad enough she's still in this godforsaken state, but she shouldn't be here. She's gonna ignore it for a bit. It's like, oh yeah, this is not happening. She's not here. No.
And then you hear your voice say, "What are you doing here?"
Huh?
And then you hear your daughter say, "I followed you.
Huh?
I wanted to see what you've been getting up to." And then you hear your voice say, "And are you satisfied with what you found?" "Those are my friends, Mom. Those are my friends that you lured here and had your way with. Like, have you no shame? Look at you. Look at what you've become." Sweet darling, if only you knew what I've become. Do you want to know exactly what your sweet darling mother has become? I don't think I want to know anything. I know the loss of Dad was very difficult. I know it was hard, Mom. But you can't go on like this. This is crazy. You can't keep on acting this way. Acting like what? Like I'm enjoying my life now that your ball and chain of a father is gone? Mom, how can you say that? And this argument goes on for a little bit. Do you want to do anything or do you just listen? It's kind of like listening to Miss Francis. So.
Miss Francis, it's okay. I think she's crawling towards the door, and when she gets to the door, there's just like kind of scratching at it. She doesn't feel well enough to like stand up and try to jimmy with like the knob, but there's just scratching, and then there's maybe like a pained wail. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here. No, you shouldn't be here. You lied. Why is she here? And just more scratching.
Well, what is that? Is there someone in the bathroom? Why don't you open the door and see for yourself? Mom, what is this? What's going on? What are you doing? Just open the door and see what's going on. You'll understand everything, darling. Swear to God, you'll understand everything. And there's a pause for a moment. And then, right in front of your face, the doorknob starts to turn. And then you hear a thunk, and something hits the door. And you feel something slide down the door. And you see blood start to seep in under the door to the bathroom.
Bleak, if you killed my daughter, I'm gonna... Wait, no, you didn't kill my daughter.
Meanwhile, back at Marjorie's house.
Yeah, doing that to...
The two police officers are saying, would you mind telling us when was the last time you saw Dr. Bell? Either of you, both of you, that's fine. We're just, he's been missing for some time, and people are starting to get worried. We're just trying to kind of trace his movement, see where he might have been. We know that the two of you and two other people, Delphine Devereaux and Estelle, it's been too long. Estelle's name is Hampton, and Estelle Hampton were his last patients that he was seeing right here in town. So when was the last time you saw Dr. Bell? Either of you?
Dr. Bell's missing. Oh dear, that's terrible. Well, I believe we had a group session. It's got to be a few weeks, maybe months ago now. That was the last time I saw him personally. It was a wonderful session. He really is gifted.
And what about you, Iommi? When was the last time you saw Dr. Bell, and what was he like when you saw him? He looked like he was doing okay?
Yeah, it was in that session. I don't know how long ago that was. I don't really understand time so well sometimes.
They exchange a kind of knowing look. That's all right, honey. There's no need to feel any stress here. We're really just trying to help Dr. Bell, and we're talking to everyone who might know anything about where he's been. When you last saw him, did he mention anything about wanting to take a trip, maybe, or something he was planning on doing, somewhere he was planning on going, or anything like that?
If I remember correctly, he said that he was interested in some sort of conference, a few weeks long. I believe he said it was somewhere in Paris, but I could be wrong. I remember he just kind of briefly mentioned it, as he had said that our sessions would be on hold for a little while. So when we didn't hear back from him, I glanced at Iommi, we sort of moved on, figuring maybe he had decided to drop us as clients. I don't know if you've ever experienced a doctor letting a patient go. Have you ever had a doctor decide that they just don't want to work with you? It's the strangest feeling. It really is. You think, well, aren't I the one who's supposed to fire you?
I've never needed the help of a psychologist, so I wouldn't know, but yes, I suppose that it is somewhat strange. Is there a particular reason why he might have not wanted to work with you anymore?
Well, confidentially between you and me, I just think that maybe it's not the best move for a man to be running a women's group. Perhaps he realized that those two things just don't mix. Can I offer you some sun tea?
It's really good. And she takes another big gulp.
No, thank you. We're all right. Just as you're taking your big gulp, and what about you, Iommi? Did you ever find that Dr. Bell maybe was acting inappropriately towards you?
No. I mean, I don't know much about having therapists and the like. He was the very first one I ever had. but I wouldn't say that he was ever inappropriate. Do you think that maybe something happened to Dr. Bell?
Well, we don't know, Iommi dear, and that's why we're looking into it. We gotta do our due diligence, talk to everyone, see what people know. Maybe he's just pulled up in a casino somewhere in Las Vegas and forgot to tell people what he was going to do. Maybe he's on a winning streak or something. We don't know. You never know. You start doing these investigations and you talk to people and eventually you find out what happened. You always find out what happened. That's the one thing that is clear. You always end up finding out. People don't just disappear off the face of the earth. You eventually find out what happened, and if something bad happened to them, you find out who did it and why, and those people go to jail. And that's just it's the way the system works. It's the way things work. Kato, can I get you to roll your charismatic aura, by the way? I think this would probably...
Yeah, this would be a time I would use that.
That would be a roll plus soul. And Creep, I'm going to ask you to roll your involuntary medium. Give me a roll plus 0.
Can you explain again how divinities work, since it's been a minute for our table?
Yeah, you get, it's an advantage. You get an extra die, and then you take the dice.
Okay, I'm going to burn one of those.
I am also going to burn one of my divinities.
That's an 11.
I got a 10.
Okay. Okay, so you feel that your usual charm not working quite as well as usual, Marjorie, but you kind of feel that you're at least kind of getting the man, the Detective Sandusky, the man that's there, nods a lot more, and you kind of feel like he's a bit more sympathetic to you, like it's kind of working a bit more on him. It doesn't seem to be working too well on Detective Overmeyer. And as for you, Iommi, you feel as you're watching them and as they're questioning you and as you're drinking this tea, you feel something strange kind of come over you, something almost as if something kind of slips into you, and you feel a hatred and a disdain for these two detectives. You feel like whatever has just moved into you hates everything they stand for, that they are antithetical to whatever this being is that has just kind of moved through you. Is like these two operate against this being. Marjorie, you sense the presence of the Fairy Queen near you, and when you kind of catch out the corner of your eye, you see a slight shimmering aura around Iommi. The entity doesn't control you, Iommi, but I get a hold on you as it starts to influence you, and you're going to find yourself getting a little bit more confrontational and nasty with them as this being is taking some measure of control and influencing you. Now, it's an influence, it's not a control, so it's not making you do this, but you're going to start feeling a lot more antagonistic towards these two as this conversation goes on. And Officer Overmeyer kind of looks at you again, Marjorie, and says, exactly what is it you have going on here? Is this some kind of social club thing?
Exactly. It's a gardening club. These are young women, older women, women of a certain age, a whole scope of women who just really want to get in touch with the dirt, with the soil, with our mother Gaia. It's a very, very healing process. I found personally after Dr. Bell's strange gallivanting that I needed something to reground me. And so I got some girlfriends together, and it turned into a little bit of a social club. We get together, we garden, we meditate. It's very healing.
Healing from what happened to you while you were part of Father Bannon's cult, right? The founding, was it called? That's why you were with Dr. Bell, right? Was dealing with the aftermath of being in that cult. Wasn't there an FBI raid that turned quite violent?
Healing comes in all forms. I myself have my own healing journey. These women have their healing journey. And quite frankly, that's private and personal. And it's something I am very much trying to heal from. Seeing as how I don't know you, I don't see why I need to share it with you.
No, I totally understand that. And what about you, Iommi? Have you been also healing from the trauma that you suffered at the hands of Father Bannon and that cult of his? Were you present the day of the violent attack and the raid by the FBI?
I think maybe that you need to mind your own business, sir.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry, this must be also very traumatic for all of you.
If you could stop saying that word, it'd be nice. Are we done here? I think we answered all your questions, sir.
Just one more thing. Delphine and Estelle, you happen to know where they are? We've been having difficulty finding them.
We ain't their mamas, sir. Maybe you should go find them.
If that'll be all, officers, I wish you a very blessed day. Come along.
Of course. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. And they turn around and they start going back to the car. And as they go, Officer Overmeyer goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. I was just wondering." Why don't you call yourself Nancy Weathers anymore?
Have a good day, officer.
Of course. You too, Miss Weathers. And Miss Earhart. We'll be in touch.
I think Iommi spits on the porch where they were standing. She's still not looking at them. She's just looking at the ground.
They don't turn around. They just get back in their car, and she smiles at the two of you from her window as they turn the car around and roll out.
Quick thinking, Iommi. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. I think that they might be a bit of a problem for us, Miss Marjorie.
I don't disagree with you, and I apologize for my error in saying your name in front of them.
That's all right. I would have told them anyways.
I imagine these two are going to be like bad pennies. So...
Like bad pennies? What's that mean?
It means they're just going to keep coming back. Can't get rid of them.
Well, I mean, we could.
Yes, it is planting season. Fertilizer is, it's always best when it's organic.
Iommi, you feel the presence that was into you leave you, and as she does, all the little things that dingle-dangle around the porch, all as if a gust of wind just blew through them, all start ringing, chiming at the same time, even though there's absolutely no wind. And Marjorie, you hear a tick, tick, tick from a window in the kitchen. Tick, tick, tick.
I turn and look.
See Alexandra standing there, staring at you. She has one of your butcher's knife and she's tapping it against the window.
I just call out, Rhonda?
From around the side of the house, wiping her hands, Rhonda comes around. It's Miss Fontaine.
Would you see what Alexandra's getting up to? She seems to have little itchy fingers.
Right away. He goes inside. What do you do?
Iommi, I couldn't help but notice a ferocity in you. A spirit, a fire. Something I haven't seen before. That was something. How was that for you?
I just didn't like the things that they were saying to us, that's all.
Rightly so. Rightly so.
It was real rude. Miss Marjorie, do you think that I can stay here with you tonight?
Oh, of course. Guest
In case
bedrooms.
they come back.
Yeah.
I want to be here.
Guest bed's all made up. That nubbly blanket you like.
I do like that blanket. It's real soft. I like the way it feels under my hands.
Iommi, and I reach out and put a hand on your forehead. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling all right. Maybe we could go in the back and do a little gardening and just relax from all that mess.
Sure. Come on. Let's go.
You go where? Sorry?
Out the through the house, which would mean cutting through the kitchen to get to the back door.
I want to play in the dirt.
To see what's in the backyard, but also to see what's happening in my kitchen.
As soon as you walk in the house, you realize something's happened. You walk towards the kitchen and you find Rhonda lying on the ground in a pool of blood, and Alexandra standing over her with the knife, blood dripping from it. And Alexandra looks up and looks at you, says, "She was being violent."
Sure she was.
He was. And you see her lean down and put her hand in the blood, and she turns and she draws on your fridge with it. Starts drawing what you know is the Fairy Queen symbol, and you feel a shimmering presence inside the house. And you hear almost kind of like a satisfied gasp emanating from somewhere around you as she applies herself at drawing this symbol on your fridge with the blood, laughing all the while.
Now, Alexandra. What a mess you've made. Ugh. Do you know how hard it is to get blood out of linoleum?
Yes, it's very hard.
You could use a little bit of club soda and baking soda.
This one's useful. We may not have to kill her.
You kill her, I'll turn you inside out and hang you as one of my dangly little charms from a tree.
That would be interesting. And as you take all of this in, somewhere in a coffee shop in North Las Vegas, with Frank Sinatra's "That's Life. That's what all the people say. Riding high in April, shot down in May." Sitting
Honestly, brilliant.
at the table with your dad, who is having double espresso with a little biscotti on the side. So, what's been happening? Delphine, feels like there's a lot going on, and I don't think that I'm getting the full picture of it. You know?
Well, you know how it is being an artist, or I have these moments, these episodes sometimes when I'm really stuck in a project and a dance and my choreography. It's, I don't know. I'm trying new things, Dad. Is that so bad?
No, of course not, honey. I'm glad you're finding interest in things again. I know that dancing has not quite been as fulfilling as it used to be. Do you miss it at all, the dancing?
Delphine kind of stares into her cup for a moment before looking back at him, and with a level of honesty that I think makes her sound almost like childlike, she just sort of nods. All the time.
You see over his shoulder, sitting in the corner, staring at you, is your sister. Well, you know, you can always go back to it if ever the impetus takes you. It's never too late to do what we love, you know?
For some people it is, she says while staring at Cassandra.
I think sometimes of all the recitals we went to, you and... Not recitals, but all the dance shows we went to, you and your sister always was competing so much, but you never realized how alike you were, both of you. You were always my two little angels, and you were so similar. I think maybe sometimes that's why you didn't get along as well as you should have, but well, I guess it's... Yes. Yeah. Just something that's in the past now, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe it was because we were always competing. Maybe it was because our family is a fucking shit show.
Oh, come on.
Sorry.
Not that bad. Had some good times.
When you were around.
Remember that Christmas we spent in Bern in Switzerland? That was nice.
Yes.
Not that nice.
I remember. She absolutely recalls all the times her father has thrown money at issues, at pretty much everything. And that's what she is like recalling. Not the laughter or sitting by a fireplace. There wasn't much of that. I think it was, yeah, we were on vacation, but I was with the nanny. So I remember, sure.
Well, look, how about this? How about you and I put our heads together, work together. We're going to get this house thing sorted out. If we need to hire a few more people to finish the decorating, we'll do that. We need to get a new real estate agent. We'll do that. Let's get that sorted. Let's get that taken care of. And then maybe you can come out and be with us for a while in Europe and kind of get away from all of this. What do you think? What do you say to that?
I think that sounds nice, but this is a little bit of my passion project right now.
I get that, but
I'd like to get it done myself. I want to accomplish something.
He
I want to finish something.
reaches out and takes your hand and says, I understand that this is your way of dealing with your sister's death. And I appreciate that, but sometimes it's good to put the things away and to move on. That's how we get better and how we heal.
Delphine stares at him and then stares at their hands holding each other. And can I take this moment to use Dark Aura?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, I'm curious. I think Delphine is getting annoyed by this. I don't need you coming here and trying to lecture me when you have barely been a factor, if anything. Thank you for the bank account. Just please shut the fuck up. I'm gonna burn. I'm gonna burn one of my points as well. I think I have like 4 going right now.
Yeah, thank you, Blacks and Gaming, by the way, for those donated subs. I saw that go by. I really appreciate you, man. Thanks for dropping in.
Thank you. Okay, let's roll this.
So your roll is plus soul.
Yes. And let's see what I add to soul. I have 2 to soul. I rolled 10 on both of them. So 22.
22. All right. Well, you get to choose 2 options from the list below your dark soul. So just so people know, dark aura, you have a dark aura of corruptive influence and sinister insight surrounding you when you let your aura touch another. You get to choose 2 of the following options. You can either learn one of your target's weaknesses. You can feel your target's soul and can ask if it has been marked or tainted by supernatural forces. Or you can curse your target. Their body starts to decompose, indicated by a serious wound that cannot be healed until they find a way to break the curse.
I'd first like to learn good old dad's weakness. Yeah, I want to learn dad's weakness because that will inform the next decision I make.
His weakness is his shame. There is an incredibly potent shard of shame embedded deep in his soul, and you get the feeling that it involves you and your sister and possibly others also. You can't tell what it is, but you know it's there.
Yeah. Then the next thing I'll ask is if it has been marked or tainted by supernatural forces.
It absolutely has. There is a dark stain on his aura that seems to be connected to his shame, that hovers there, and it is kind of off-putting. And as he reaches into his little binder and he says, there are a few things that I was hoping to take back with me, so if you don't mind, and he puts out a number of pictures, and the one on top is a picture of the statue. I really feel like these things should come back with me, so hopefully they're still at the house, and hopefully I can just take them away with me now. And you need more time to work here and to get through things. That's fine, I understand that. We'll put everything else on standby, and whenever you're ready to make a move, we'll make a move.
Okay, why? I mean, they're fine in the house, that you don't have to worry about them. You know that.
Who do you mean? Who's in the house?
The items. I mean, you know, they're fine at the house. The statue, she kind of picks up the photo, waves it around. You know, I love this statue. I've always...
You haven't touched it, have you?
No, not at all.
That thing's dangerous. Delphine, I'm not trying to scare you here, but we should never have taken that thing from where we found it, and it has to go back. It's vitally important. He looks around. I think that there's a very strong possibility that this is tied to your sister's death.
And she's staring past him, like staring at Cassandra.
She's looking at you and she's smiling. You get the feeling that there's something going on you haven't gleaned yet. Like there's something hanging over your head that you haven't figured out yet. You get a very intense sense that there's a sense of foreboding, sense of something almost inevitable that's standing in front of you that you can't see.
Delphine grabs their dad's hands with both of hers with a sort of urgency all of a sudden and is staring into his face. Her expression of the sort of dutiful, angelic daughter slips, and she's staring at him with just a serious look in her eye, and she says, "Why do you think that? What is the statue? Why would a statue have anything to do with Cass's death?"
My darling, I'm afraid the statue is what influenced you into killing your sister.
What?
And on that note, my friends,
In the middle of a coffee shop with Sinatra playing in the background? Over breakfast?
That's life.
That's right. That's showbiz, baby.
that's,